To Dust. Written by Kristen Mullings. 2025 copyright. Chapter 1, The Marked One. The ash falls like snow tonight. Each flake hisses as it lands, whispering secrets into the scorched soil. I watch it gather on the stone path outside my hovel, grey upon black, like the bones of the dead laid bare. The forest beyond shudders in silence, mourning something I cannot name. The air is thick with burnt magic. Heavy. Charged. I should have stayed inside. But the storm called me. No, not the storm, something within it. Something bleeding and broken. My boots crunch over the frost-bitten leaves as I move through the cursed woods of Enwyn, my lantern swinging low. The flame inside flickers blue. Blood magic reacts to pain. Suffering. Death. I follow it without question. I always have. Branches claw at my cloak, thorned fingers scraping over my skin, as if to hold me back. These woods are older than time, and they remember who I am, what I've done. The exile. The blasphemer. The witch who bled her sisters for knowledge not meant to be known. I was 19 when they cast me out. 27 now. And still I dream of the flames. The deeper I walk, the louder the pull becomes. A tug behind my navel. A pulse in my throat. Magic sings in my veins, thick and dark like the potion inked on my left palm. A sigil of ruin, cursed to burn the moment I call upon the power again. But tonight, it's not me who needs ruin. It's him. I find him in the ruins of a shrine, half buried beneath shattered stone and blood. At first, I think he's human. The shape of him is too graceful, too lovely for a beast. But then I see the horns, black and cruel, arching back from his skull like blades. His skin glows faintly under the moonlight, a deep bronze veined with fire, and his eyes. Gods, his eyes. They burn like coals, even as he bleeds out into the snow. He doesn't see me. Not at first. He's barely conscious, his chest rising in shallow, ragged gasps. I kneel beside him, my breath catching as I lay trembling fingers against his throat. Still alive. Barely. A demon. Here. On hallowed ground. I should kill him. It's what any sane witch would do. Instead, I whisper the old words and press my hand to the wound in his side. He shudders. The heat of him is unbearable, as if he carries hell beneath his skin. His blood, black and thick like molten tar, seeps between my fingers. The magic coils tight around my wrist, sensing the danger. The temptation. This is foolish, I whisper. But I say the spell anyway. The binding magic lashes out the moment I finish the chant, fusing our energies like twin threads stitched in blood. His body jerks, then stills. The wound begins to close, inch by agonizing inch. And then his eyes open. I've seen monsters before, bandits twisted by rage, wolves starved by winter, even a lich queen rotting in her own palace of bone. But nothing has ever looked at me like this. Like he knows me. Like he's been waiting. Who sent you? His voice is smoke and gravel, broken at the edges. No one, I breathe. I felt your pain. He scoffs, baring fangs. Witches don't feel. Don't speak of what you don't understand. He tries to rise, snarling, but the pain drags him back down. I press harder on his wound. You'll tear it open again. He watches me with those burning eyes, feral and unreadable. Why save me? I don't have an answer. Not one I trust. So I lie. Because I pity you. He laughs, low and cruel. You're a terrible liar. So I've been told. The silence stretches. The ash keeps falling. What's your name, witch? He asks finally. I don't give it to demons. Then I'll take it. Try, and I'll burn the rest of you to ash. That earns another laugh, though it ends in a cough and a spray of blood. I ease him against the broken stone of the shrine, ignoring the way his hand brushes mine. You're bleeding through the bandage, I murmur, inspecting the gash. You need rest. And shelter. Take me back to hell, why don't you? Too crowded, I snap. And I don't travel light. That almost gets a smile. Almost. Instead, he goes quiet again, his jaw tight with pain. I rise, my cloak sweeping around my legs like shadows. You'll die out here, I say. Or worse, be found. By who? By witches who don't take kindly to bleeding demons on the sacred soil. He turns his head slowly, eyes narrowing. And what do you take kindly to? Nothing, I answer honestly. But I'm too tired to watch another creature die. Kindness in a witch. He chuckles darkly. The world's ending after all. No, I say softly, looking at the broken altar beside him, the one once devoted to Sailmara, goddess of balance. But it's burning. And you, demon prince, are just more kindling. His eyes flash. You know who I am. I know what you are. The crown sigil on your chest glows like a brand. You're highborn. Royal. Kael'Thorne, he says, spitting blood into the snow. Third son of the 9th house. Prince of Embers. I tilt my head. Your kind has many princes. Most don't live long enough to become kings. He smiles, but it's all teeth. That's the point. A silence falls between us again. This time, not uncomfortable, just heavy, like the air before a storm. I glance up at the sky. The moon is pale and cracked like a dying eye. We need to go, I murmur. They'll come for you. I can't walk. I'll carry you. You're small. I'm strong. His brow lifts, amused. Prove it. With a grunt, I kneel, sliding one arm under his shoulders and the other beneath his knees. His body is impossibly heavy, the weight of magic and fire pressing down like iron. But I rise, breath shaking, and begin the long walk back through the woods. His head lolls against my shoulder. I feel the heat of him through my clothes, searing and unnatural. Why do you live out here? He asks quietly. In exile. Because I broke the law. What law? The one that says we are not supposed to feel anything for demons. He doesn't reply. But I swear I feel him watching me the whole way. Chapter 2, The Curse Beneath the Skin. I hadn't carried a man since the execution. He'd been heavier than Kael. Drunk, flailing, screaming that the gods would forgive him for what he'd done to that village girl. They didn't. I made sure of that. But Kael, he doesn't scream. He watches. Even as I drag him into my half-rotted cottage at the edge of the hollow wood, even as I lower him to the cot near the hearth, his ember eyes are wide open, piercing through me like twin brands. I try to ignore the weight of them. I fail. You live like a crow, he murmurs, voice raw. I live like someone no one visits. I strike the hearthstone. Sparks spit. Flames catch in the logs and begin to hiss, casting the room in orange gold. Dust dances in the air like dead things. I remove my cloak and toss it over him. It smells of ash and elderroot, but he doesn't complain. Just lies there, hands clenched over his stomach, lips pale. The blood hasn't stopped. He needs more healing. Deeper. The kind I'm not supposed to give. I grind my teeth and kneel beside him, pressing my palm to his chest. The sickle beneath my skin begins to ache, like it always does when I'm about to break the promise I made to the coven the night they cast me out. No more blood magic. But he's dying. And I'm tired of watching things die. I slit my thumb with the tip of my blade and let the blood drip onto his skin. It hisses as it touches him, the magic in my blood reacting violently to whatever curse still clings to his bones. His body jerks. What are you? He rasps. Shut up and bleed quiet. I whisper the words between clenched teeth, tasting copper and rot. My blood seeps into him, finding the wound at his side, unraveling the poison tangled in his veins. His back arches off the cot with a strangled cry. My vision blurs. Pain spikes behind my eyes. He's cursed. Not just wounded. Something old. Something made of binding and betrayal. When I pull my hand back, my fingers are blackened. Kael gasps, chest heaving, the red in his eyes flaring like a sun being reborn. What was that? He snarls. You tell me. I stagger back and wipe my hand on my skirts, watching the skin slowly knit back together. He doesn't answer. Just lies there, still breathing hard, brow slick with sweat. Your magic, he begins, is illegal, I finish. Which is why I'm out here, instead of in a tower sipping tea, and cursing men like you for sport. He chuckles, and for the first time it sounds real. Less bitter, more amused. I hate that I like the sound. You know, he says, most witches would have let me bleed out. I am not most witches. He sits up slowly, wincing, and finally really looks at me. What's your name? He asks again. I consider lying again. But something in his voice, quiet, steady, not demanding, makes me pause. Seren. He nods. It suits you. Cold on the outside. Fire underneath. Careful, Prince. That tongue might get you hexed. I like a woman with sharp edges. I stand abruptly, hiding the way my pulse stutters. You can rest here tonight. But you leave at dawn. He raises a brow. That's all I get for nearly dying in your arms. You're lucky you're not already dust. He leans back against the wall, smirking. Charming. I stalk toward the shelves and begin pulling down old herbs and a clean cloth. Anything to keep my hands busy. To ignore the fire crawling up my spine at the way he says my name. I hear him shift behind me, groaning. He's still weak. Still cursed. The blood magic will hold for now, but it's not a permanent fix. Tell me how it happened, I say without turning. Tell you what? The wound. The curse. Why you were bleeding into a shrine. He's quiet for a long moment. I hear the fire crackle, the wind tap against the window panes like fingers. I was betrayed, he says finally. I turn. His gaze is distant now. Not cold, just old. Like he's seen things no prince should have had to. My brother, he continues. Second born. Jealous. Said I was soft. Too human to rule. He cursed you. With the help of a witch, Kael spits. One who deals in old blood and older pacts. She marked me for death, and sent me topside to die. He thought I'd be torn apart by your kind. I might have done him a favor, I mutter. He grins again, wicked and golden. And yet, here I am. Yes, I say softly. Here you are. He falls asleep soon after. The kind of deep sleep only near death can gift. I watch him for a long time from my chair by the hearth, fingers idly twirling dried wolfsbane. He shouldn't be beautiful. But he is. Not just in the way his hair falls across his brow like coals, or the way his horns shine like obsidian, but in the way his pain sits on him like a crown. He reminds me of myself. Cursed. Cast out. Burning on the inside. I wake to the sound of glass shattering. My blade is in my hand before I'm even upright, breath held tight in my chest. The fire's gone out. The air is wrong. Thick and wet, like breath on the back of my neck. Kael is gone. Kael? No answer. I move through the dark with quiet steps. The window near the back is broken, frost curling along the shattered frame. Outside, snow has begun to fall in earnest, thick and fast. Then I see him. Kael is standing barefoot in the snow, shirtless, the bloody bandage dangling from one arm. His back is to me. The moon casts him in silver and ruin. And before him stands something else. A figure in a black veil, face hidden, robes dragging through the frost like smoke. I don't hesitate. I raise my hand and fling a pulse of raw, pulsing light toward the figure. It hits, shattering the illusion. The figure vanishes into smoke. Kael collapses. I rush to him, grabbing his shoulders. Kael. Are you mad? She was here, he growls, eyes wild. The witch who cursed me. She followed me. She's not here anymore. His breathing slows. The fire in his veins fades slightly. I glance at his chest, and there it is. A new mark. Black script coiled just beneath the skin above his heart, like ink swimming under glass. She's tightening the bind, I whisper. She's going to kill you slowly. He looks up at me. Then help me stop her. I blink. What? Help me kill her. I don't even know who she is. You will. I saw her face. I'll show you. I'm not going to war with your brothers, Kael. This isn't war. It's vengeance. He grips my wrist. You saved me. That means something. We're bound now. It was a healing spell. Not a soul tie. Are you sure? The mark on my palm burns. I look at him. Really look. And I know. I'm already in too deep. Chapter 3, The ASH Binding. The morning finds me kneeling in a shallow stream, wrists soaked red, as I wash the last of Kael's blood from my skin. It clings to me like regret. No matter how hard I scrub, the warmth lingers. The forest is quiet. Too quiet. Even the birds know not to sing near me. Kael watches from a boulder a few feet away, shirt loosely tied around his middle, black boots wet with dew. He hasn't spoken since the encounter last night, not about the veiled witch, not about the mark, not about the vow he made. I wish I could say the silence was welcome. You always bathe in your clothes, he finally asks, lips curved in a half-smile. I wring out my sleeves. You want me naked, demon prince? Say please. He laughs, a low, rich sound that makes the back of my neck flush. No, I think I prefer the mystery. I rise, letting the water drip from my fingertips. The forest presses close around us, twisted oaks and bone-white birch, their branches clawing at the sky. Mist curls low across the earth, a veil between this world and what lies beneath it. Kael steps forward. That mark on my chest, it's spreading. I told you. She's leashing your soul. One pull at a time. Can you stop it? I don't answer right away. Because I can. Maybe. But the kind of spell required, the kind that breaks death bonds and soul threads, isn't healing. It's not even blood magic. It's ash binding. The forbidden rite. The one my mother warned me about before they burned her alive. I reach for the leather pouch at my hip and pull out a shard of obsidian. Lie down. Kael blinks. What? Now, Kael. He does, resting back against a patch of moss. I kneel beside him, holding the stone over his heart. The black veins beneath his skin writhe like they know what's coming. This will hurt, I say. But if you move, if you scream, or if your demonic ego tries to fight it, you'll burn from the inside out. His eyes burn into mine. Do it. I press the obsidian to his chest. The stone sings, a low, metallic wail that ripples through the forest. The mark glows, rising up like steam from his skin. I close my eyes and whisper the rite. Ash to ash. Blood to bind. Let the soul uncoil from the vine. His body convulses. Fire cracks along his ribs. My palm shakes, but I hold firm. The curse screams through me, trying to find a host, trying to cling. I grit my teeth and press harder. Let it break, and let it bleed. By witch's breath, I set thee free. The mark explodes in black smoke. Kael gasps, back arched, sweat pouring down his temples. I collapse beside him, heart hammering, magic crawling beneath my fingernails like thorns. For a long time, we just lie there. The forest doesn't breathe. The world feels cracked. Then Kael turns his head toward me. What was that? A splinter binding, I whisper. She didn't curse you alone. She tied a sliver of herself into your soul. Probably to track you. Or worse. Worse? I nod. If she died, you would have died with her. Kael closes his eyes. So she wanted me dead either way. That's the thing about witches like her, I say softly. They don't leave loose ends. He's silent again. I can feel his mind working, gears grinding behind his golden gaze. Then he says, "Why are you out here, Seren? Why the woods? Why alone?" The question strikes deeper than it should. I sit up, wrapping my arms around my knees. The mist curls around us like old ghosts. Because I broke the circle, I say. His brow furrows. I was a fireborn, I continue. One of the chosen. I trained under the Ember matron. Learned every forbidden spell, every trick of the flame. They said I was born with ash in my veins. Kael watches me, silent. But the circle, I trail off, voice bitter. They wanted purity. Obedience. They wanted me to bind a child who had magic she couldn't control. Said it was for the good of the coven. You refused. No, I say, voice low. I killed the witch who ordered it. Kael exhales slowly. They stripped my title. Burned my mother in my place. Said the blood needed balance. He's beside me before I notice, his hand brushing my arm. They exiled you. They did worse, I say. They unmade me. No sigil, no sacred name, no tombstone. Kael says nothing. Just rests his hand on mine. Warm. Steady. For the first time in years, I let someone hold it. I'm sorry, he says. I'm not, I reply. I'd do it again. We sit there as the mist begins to lift, the sun rising like a bruised eye through the trees. Then I feel it. A sharp crack in the air. Like the sky just split. Kael feels it too. His head snaps toward the east. They found me, he says. Not a question. A statement. I rise, slipping the obsidian back into its pouch. How many? 2. Maybe 3. They won't attack yet. Not while they think I'm weak. You are weak. I'm better now, he grins. You'll get us both killed. Then you'd better help me not die. I glare at him, but my magic's already coiling at my fingertips. I don't know why I care. I don't know when he went from stranger to something else. But I do know this: the witch who cursed him didn't just bind a prince. She tangled us both in her web. And now, if she wants him, she'll have to go through me.